Cody refuses to stay down. The shocking McAfee reveal. Crowd turns with loud boos. Cody fires brutal shots. Don't forget to smash subscribe, hit that bell, and like for more information. Wait, what going on? Just a second. What exactly is happening here? Cody Rhodes? Seriously? What is going through Cody's mind right now? This is the same Cody who was already laid out earlier, the same man who took a brutal beating not too long ago. And yet here he is again, standing tall, refusing to stay down. We all showed up tonight in St. Louis expecting answers, didn't we? We were all dressed up, ready for the big reveal, waiting to finally hear who Randy Orton had been speaking to on that mysterious phone call. And if you're being honest, did you really expect it to be Pat McAfee? Or did you think it would be someone far more shocking? Because let's be real, that reveal hit a little differently than expected, didn't it? The crowd certainly had their feelings about it, and you could hear it loud and clear with those boos echoing through the arena. It almost felt like one of those legendary moments in wrestling history, where anticipation is built to the maximum, like when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash teased the third man of the NWO, only for the reveal to fall completely flat. If it had been someone unexpected in the wrong way, like Disco Inferno instead of Hulk Hogan, can you imagine how different history would feel if that had actually happened? That's the kind of energy this moment carried, a mix of disbelief, humor, and maybe even a little frustration. And then Cody, never one to hold back when emotions are running high, turns his attention directly toward Pat McAfee, unleashing a verbal assault that felt both personal and explosive. He throws out insults with precision, calling him out in ways that clearly weren't meant to be taken lightly, comparing him to figures that would get under anyone's skin. Do you think Cody went too far with those words, or was he simply saying what needed to be said? Because the crowd's reactions suggested they were fully invested in every second of it. Cody didn't just stop at surface-level jobs either. He went deeper, targeting not just Pat, but everything surrounding him, everyone backing him, making it clear that this wasn't just about one man, but an entire situation that had been building tension for a long time. And when he told them all exactly where they could go, you could feel the energy shift instantly. That wasn't just anger, that was years of frustration bubbling to the surface. Then comes that moment where Cody almost pauses, almost questions himself, asking if he crossed a line. Did he, or was that just a rhetorical jab, a way to push things even further? Because right after that, he doubles down, practically daring anyone to do something about it. What's the worst that could happen, he asks, getting fired? And then he reminds everyone how that turned out the last time, which adds another layer to the story. If you followed his journey, you know exactly what he's referring to, and it makes the statement hit even harder. Isn't it interesting how sometimes the biggest setbacks turn into the greatest comebacks? Cody then shifts gears, bringing the focus back to Randy Orton, a man who isn't just another opponent, but someone deeply tied to his past. He calls him St. Louis's own, acknowledges his legacy, and even refers to him as a mentor and a hero. That's not something you say lightly, is it? Especially in a business where respect is earned the hard way. But at the same time, Cody paints a complex picture of their relationship, comparing it to having an angel and a devil on his shoulders. When John Cena represented guidance and morality, Randy Orton embodied something darker, something more dangerous. Can you think of a better way to describe two legends who shaped an entire generation of wrestling? It's a powerful contrast, and it adds emotional depth to what could have just been another rivalry. Cody continues, emphasizing how simple this situation really is at its core, despite all the noise surrounding it. He's been told over and over again that it's not personal, but how can it not be? Even figures he respects deeply, like Stephanie McMahon, have pushed him toward embracing a darker side, encouraging him to step into a mindset that he's not sure he can fully access anymore. And that raises an interesting question, doesn't it? Can someone who has evolved, who has built a life outside the ring, truly go back to that place of intensity and darkness? Cody admits that he hears those voices, that internal struggle, but he's unsure if he still knows how to act on them. That vulnerability is rare, especially in an environment where strength is everything.
He brings up his family, his children, and the life he's built, reminding everyone that he's no longer just a competitor chasing glory, but also a father and a man with responsibilities beyond the ring. Does that make him weaker in this context, or does it make him more real? That's something worth thinking about. At the same time, Cody doesn't shy away from acknowledging his accomplishments. He talks about the massive events, the record-breaking shows, the cities that have hosted some of the biggest moments in wrestling history, from Dallas to Los Angeles to Philadelphia and Las Vegas. These aren't just random locations, they're milestones, each representing a chapter in a career that has seen him stand toe-to-toe with the very best. John Cena, Roman Reigns, The Rock. These aren't just opponents, they're icons. And Cody makes it clear that while he faced them, they faced him too. That mutual recognition speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's not just about being in the ring with greatness, it's about being considered part of that same level. And then as everything builds to a peak, Cody strips it all down to its essence. At the end of the day, this is about a wrestling match, but not just any match. This is 20 years of history colliding, two of the best to ever do it finally meeting under circumstances that feel bigger than just competition. Can you feel the weight of that moment? Because it's not just about winning or losing, it's about legacy, about proving something not just to the fans, but to themselves. Cody admits that he's finally hearing those voices inside his head, the ones pushing him, challenging him, maybe even tempting him to go to that dark place everyone keeps talking about. But then he leaves us with a chilling thought, one that lingers long after the words are spoken. He says that while he hears those voices, you might not actually want to hear what they have to say. What do you think those voices are telling him? And more importantly, what will happen if he decides to listen? As the music hits and the intensity of the moment settles in, you can't help but feel like something massive is on the horizon. The energy, the emotion, the unresolved tension between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, it all points toward a collision that's been years in the making. And after everything we just witnessed, one question remains. Are you ready for what comes next?
And just when you think the moment couldn't get any more intense, you can feel the atmosphere shifting again, almost like the calm before something even bigger explodes. The crowd isn't just reacting anymore, they're anticipating, hanging on to every second, every movement, every word that might come next. Isn't that what makes moments like this unforgettable? That feeling that anything could happen at any time. Because right now, it doesn't feel like we've reached the end of this story. It feels like we've only just cracked the surface. Cody stands there, soaking it all in, the noise, the pressure, the weight of everything he just said. And you have to wonder, is he fully in control, or are those voices he mentioned starting to take over little by little? You can almost see it in his eyes, that internal battle playing out in real time. Have you ever seen Cody like this before, or does this feel like a completely different version of him emerging right in front of us? And then there's Randy Orton, the man at the center of all of this, the one who hasn't even needed to say a word in this moment to still feel like a looming presence over everything. Isn't that the mark of true greatness, when someone's influence is felt even in silence? Because whether he's in the ring or not, Orton's shadow is clearly hanging over Cody's every thought, every emotion, every decision. This isn't just about a match anymore. It's psychological, it's personal, it's years of history colliding in a way that can't be undone. And let's not ignore the Pat McAfee factor either, because his involvement has clearly added fuel to an already raging fire. Did anyone expect him to become such a central piece of this situation, or has he just found himself in the wrong place at the absolute worst time? Either way, Cody has made it clear that this isn't over, not by a long shot. The tension is still rising, the stakes are still climbing, and if anything, it feels like we're heading towards something even more chaotic. You can sense that whatever happens next won't just settle things, it might completely change everything. And that brings up another question. What kind of Cody Rhodes are we going to see when that moment finally comes? The composed, calculated competitor who's built his legacy step by step, or the darker, more dangerous version he's been teasing, the one even he isn't sure he can fully control anymore?
Because if those voices inside his head truly take over, we might be looking at a side of Cody we've never seen before, and that should honestly make everyone a little uneasy. But maybe that's exactly what this rivalry needs. Maybe that's what it's been building toward all along. After all, when you're talking about two of the greatest to ever step into the ring, ordinary just isn't enough, is it? This has to be bigger, more intense, more unpredictable than anything we've seen before. And right now, all signs are pointing in that direction. The history, the emotion, the unresolved tension, it's all reaching a boiling point, and when it finally spills over, it's going to be impossible to look away. So now it really comes down to this. When that inevitable clash happens, who walks out changed forever, and who walks out with their legacy truly cemented? Because one thing is certain, after everything that's been said and everything that's been building, there's no going back.